Greetings, webheads, and welcome to episode 2 of Witty Banter, yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast. I'm Patrick Runge.
I'm David Leese.
I'm John Paul George.
Alex Farrell.
And we are here to help you get better at and have more fun with your Crisis Protocol. We're on our second episode, so now we're going to be a little more like a regular format. So we've got a question that we're going to answer. We've got a roster that was sent to us that we're going to dojo. And then we're going to have our headline. And I can't think, was there anything that happened that people might have noticed in the last week or so? I mean, that they maybe have been crying for what seems like a million years?
Yeah, that CGR nerf.
So apparently all's right with the world for at least the next 30 seconds until we find out what the next broken thing is.
Wakanda, Spirit of Wakanda.
Yeah, we probably could take some odds on which is the next thing that everybody's going to complain about. But let's start out with a question. We want to interact with you. We want to hear from you guys to know what you would like us to talk about, as well as ways that we can get better as a podcast. So Sophie sends us this question. If you get a chance, I would love to hear about what changes Squirrel Girl and Gwenpool brought to the meta. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
I mean, not many. I mean, for sure.
I don't know if this is a troll.
I mean,
we love trolls here. We happily accept our trolls.
We've got 2 in our group as it is,
That's
so
fair.
Trolls. That's how we thrive.
I don't think Squirrel Girl her tactics card you can randomly
share
something.
They share. Oh, that one.
Yeah,
Unexpected demise.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that one's terrible.
But man, the one time you do it and you get
I
8 threat
don't-
Thanos with it, that would just be glorious.
Yeah, it would be.
It would be if it ever happened.
If it ever happened.
So when
You got to spend 8 power for that too, don't
Yeah,
you?
it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
So when those 2 models dropped, when kind of you first saw them, did you expect them to end up affecting things different than they actually did when they landed?
No.
Yeah, once they spoiled all the cards, they were kind of like, okay.
Well, they came at a time when they were releasing a lot of 4s, right?
Yeah.
There was just
that
a glut
was-
of 4s.
May of last year, and they were the 4s were saturated. And that was not too long after Bill came out, and Beta Ray Bill was just king of the 4s at the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to
Still.
compete with that.
He's still pretty high up there for sure, but
So if you wanted to use those 2, where would be the most effective place that you could find a spot for them?
I mean, I think you put Gwenpool in A-Force, right? I think that's probably one of the only good homes for
I don't
her.
think you ever splash them.
No.
Gwenpool could go on a Crim's roster, or
Yeah.
I mean, she could be in Avengers, I guess. But I mean, there's just better.
Better Force.
Better Force.
Avengers have way better Force. Avengers are just like
I mean, everyone's
Force.
got better 4s, I think. But I mean, she's serviceable for sure. Like
Yeah.
she can do work. Like she's not bad. But if you're trying to really,
When I like her in A-Force because of the damage reduction, right? So, she's going to take less damage and pass more power, right? It's going to take more attacks to get her down.
yeah.
I mean, she is essentially what? She's Dynamo, right? She's 4/3/4, and she's got rerolls on Physical Mystic.
For she can reroll any defense.
Yeah, and she's 4/3/4.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, 4/3/4.
Yeah,
She can reroll defense with X.
and with
Yeah.
the DR.
and the DR.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl, she's just she's there.
Yeah, I like her in A-Force. I think she's good in A-Force.
Squirrel Girl or
No, Gwenpool.
Gwenpool? Yeah.
But I don't know what.
Was Squirrel Girl just kind of a victim of all the other really good 4s that dropped right around the same time?
Well, and I think she's flat 3s with
flat 3s.
2 rerolls if she's got the tippy
I
toe.
mean, she got freaking winging it on everything she does. So
What about with new core Steve? What are her triggers?
She doesn't. She's got.
She places
she's got a
within one on her
place-
builder, and her spender pushes.
Pushes.
Yeah.
Any
She
size?
does-
What
Size
size?
No,
3.
I mean, I still have both of them in box, shrink wrapped. I have never put them on the table. I've never played them on TTS, so I can't really speak from experience. But looking at their cards, I feel like Squirrel Girl's probably better.
Think Wemple?
How come?
She's more dynamic.
Yeah.
Gwenpool's very she's tanky, but she's pretty static. She has the place, but she can't do any extract play, or that just cuts her off.
Yep.
And at that point, she is what, a range 2 attacker. I guess she could shoot her energy thing for 4 dice.
Her rocket's okay.
It's fine, but how's she getting power?
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl's just with dynamic.
She does have her builder is 5 dice pierce.
Yeah,
she can
range 2
reroll.
physical. It's fine.
And
But,
she can reroll with her.
yeah, but you're spending power to do that.
Yeah.
But in A-Force, she gets power a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like Squirrel is probably the better pick. But it depends on what you want. But
So it kind of sounds like the consensus is that both fours came out at a time when fours were going nuts, and they just kind of got left in the wake a little bit.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. They're not in a lot of affiliate. They compete in. I don't think they compete in an Avengers roster or
Well, that's the problem with them. All their affiliations that they
I
were
don't think they
added to have super competition with all the other
even
fours in their
Gwenpool and
affiliations.
Crims is kind of even in Gwenpool and Crims is kind of okay, I guess. It's not. I do like that you can pass an objective and then place, right? You can use Kingpin's leadership.
yeah, I guess when I was saying Crims, I was thinking more
Daredevil.
Killy Crims. I don't know. I don't know what kind of Crims.
I don't know.
Claw or I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Claw's terrible.
Let's
But-
not even start with that.
Modok. I don't know. She's tanky and killy. I don't think being killy is that great in Kingpin, so
No,
it's not like she has any control.
No, she doesn't.
She can
Well,
spend
she
a
has the
point.
tactics card. The tactics
Yeah,
card.
but
Yeah, it's whatever.
All right. Any other thoughts on Squirrel Girl and Gwenpool?
They're just mediocre fours in a
I mean,
sea of
what are we at?
good fours.
160 something characters.
Pushing
Yeah.
160.
I don't know. There's got to be. There's a bell curve, and they're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. They're not utterly terrible, but they're not just flat out amazing.
So they have not impacted the meta at all.
Yes.
All right. So we've also had a roster that Brandon has sent to us that he would like us to dojo. He actually said he wanted us to tell him how his roster was. So here we go. He's got Emma Frost, Immortal Hulk, Ulik, Beta Ray Bill, Gwenpool, Invincible Iron Man, Rhino, Lizard, Miles Morales, and Toad. Tactics cards are My Hellfire Club, Stark Armory, They Say Keep Your Enemies Close, This Is a Robbery, Brace for Impact, Eyes on the Prize, Mark for Death, Mission Objective, One Below All, and Patch Up. Secures are Sword, Infinity, and Fisk. Extracts are Cubes, Hammers, and Paranoia. So, first, what are your first thoughts in seeing this roster?
I mean, I think we gotta look at what it's trying to do, right? I mean, it's running Sword, Infinity, Fisk.
Yeah, I'm confused on the secures.
Yeah, Fisk seems like a weird one because there's not too much immune to stun.
Well, and I mean, you're wanting to go on skiers with a lot of points, so you can.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's willing to take Immortal Hulk on Fisk.
Yeah, which isn't terrible.
But I don't think it's a good plan.
Yeah, because Emma's leadership, right? You're gonna have to be around the Fisk to heal and.
I mean, yeah,
And-
Hulk's gonna get it, but I mean, you gotta be on the Fisk points with your other models that you don't really want to get stunned.
Yeah, or take damage,
Yeah. Well, damage isn't that big of a deal.
Well, yeah,
heal it with the
you heal it,
leadership,
but it's still damage, right?
yeah, I mean, preferably you wouldn't take it.
Well, in Emma's leadership, the wider you go, the more benefit you get.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's
It
real
scales really well.
right.
Yes.
So
And power also scales like exponentially on lower threats, right? Because like they can usually do like some of the lower threats have just like amazing things they can do with power, but just can't generate.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, even like I don't even know if that's necessarily a lower threat thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Some kits are just more starved than others.
Yeah. So I like the picks. I like Bill. I like Rhino. I like Miles. I like Toad. The lizard one, we can like debate the lizard one.
And I think most people who play Hellfire, like their first two characters are Bill and Rhino.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And obviously you have Emma. So you're locked at, well, you're not locked, but general consensus, those are the two that you start with. Yeah, you might argue, but you're probably wrong. So you already have 3 4s.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, Hellfire doesn't mind 4s. They'll take a lot of 4s, but I feel like this list has at least one too many 4s.
Yeah. I also because you've been experimenting around with Hellfire.
I mean, I've played it 2 games.
Well, you're just
I'm kicking it around.
Yeah, kicking around.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Are you running 2/2s?
No.
Because I was thinking you run 2/2s. You run a Koye and Toad, right? So then it gives you the option to go like 5 wide to 15.
Okoye in Hellfire is really useful because the extra power she gets really kind of turns around quicker.
You could do Wong too. You could make an argument for Wong, but I don't know because with Wong you could get some weird.
I don't know if I like Wong.
I don't know if I like Wong either.
If I was going to do 2/2s, it would be Okoye and probably Toad.
I mean, I think.
I just have Okoye right now.
Well, you don't have Toad? Toad's not in here?
I only have 1 2.
Oh, you only have Koye? I mean, I think Koye is the pick. Because, like, you want the bodyguard and the, like, and just her extra power generation healing is just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I think 2/2s is probably better here.
I do like 2/2s. I think you could do.
And I would agree. I think there's too many 4s.
Just
half the roster's 4s.
Yeah,
or more.
Invincible needs to be regular Tony.
Yeah, Invincible should go to OG Tony.
Yeah,
I mean, Invincible gives you.
I do like
extra,
the rerolls.
I mean, I like his chassis better, but it's just a glut of 4s.
Right.
Right.
If you're already
who
putting
would be
in,
the first 4 to go?
It's gotta be him, right? It's gotta be.
well,
I guess you could pop
I mean,
Gwenpool out.
I'm
right?
eyeballing Gwenpool, but I know that Brandon's got a soft spot or a hard spot for Gwenpool.
I mean,
I've seen him in the forums. He's partial to Gwen. So I don't know if we can cut her. Just knowing that.
Yeah.
I really think it's Invincible goes to OG.
Yeah, I do think you definitely. I think you take you go Helios instead of Armory, right?
Helios makes a ton of sense with all the extra power Emma hands out.
I like the ability for Hellfire to have a Finger of Death.
Yeah.
It might not always work that way with Prio. They might pick up Iron Man, but at least you have it on the board. You can stack it with Cat, have a couple threats for Kaijus. And the thing I was finding with playing Hellfire with only 4 tactics cards is that it kind of, I don't want to say allows you, but like with only 4 that you have to fill, you're able to have more specialized cards.
Yeah.
So I think Helios is a really good specialized card.
Yeah, especially since Hellfire doesn't have any relevant tactics cards.
Yeah,
They have 1 tactics card.
What is their?
It's the leadership.
Oh yeah.
So they have no other tactics.
Because
cards.
Emma has the mind transfer.
Yep.
yeah, which is just kind of goofy.
It's
I don't know.
pretty goofy.
It's like playing that Spider Woman card. Double Agent or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a goofy card. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it, but
I don't think it's worth it either. I mean, you could do some stupid things with it, but
yeah, but it's like
why? And
weird
it's like
pipe dreamy things.
yeah. It's like I'm gonna move this this activation token off these grunts and put it on another character. And
Yeah.
you can't activate the grunts because
Most of the time, you're probably looking at that thing face up and wishing you took a different card.
yeah, it's not good.
Ulick feels like he's in kind of a weird spot if you're trying to if you're starting with 3 4s and then you got
I mean,
5.
I see where it's going. It's going tanky boys, right? Like it's just going.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Hellfire players will probably, I hate to like bandwagon with Hellfire players, but a lot of them are going to point at Ultron, right?
Yeah, I
That's
think
the 5.
I think you
From
take
your 5
Ultron.
there?
I think you take Ultron. I like Ultron.
What does Ultron give you in Hellfire?
Well, grunts. That's already a start.
Well, I mean, Age of Ultron makes him
It makes
a
him-
ridiculous 5, and Ultron likes power.
Yeah,
And he
And-
likes healing.
you can also damage the grunts to try to kill them to get them to blow up into people.
So meaning Emma's leadership can damage the grunts.
Yeah, Emma's leadership damages grunts because they can never. You never contest.
Yeah, that's true. I did not think about that.
You didn't think about that?
No.
Yeah.
That's yeah, I'm a Hellfire noob. I was not playing it like that.
You probably should have, huh?
Yeah, I should have. Would have been a lot better.
How much health do they
It would
have?
have healed Emma a lot. They have 3.
Oh yeah, it does heal her. Does it give her power too?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Hey webheads, this is Time Travel Patrick from about 48 hours after we recorded episode 2. Just to make sure you know, because Ultron's grunts do not get power, Emma Frost's leadership does not work to damage them. So all that jank we talked about with Ultron's robot zombies under Hellfire Club, just ignore it. Okay, now with that correction, the timeline is safe and you are free to return to regular programming. Enjoy the show. So we think maybe make some swaps out so your roster can go wider.
I think the double twos is a thing.
Well, I don't mind Ultron being a pseudo 2.
Oh yeah,
Know what I
yes,
mean?
yeah, that's true too.
I don't know, like, okay, so you go extra wide, but like, what are they actually doing with the power? How does power translate for Toad? What is it doing for him?
I mean, I guess he can like run away easily, right?
Yeah,
It's got
but
the hop capability.
He's got the
Sure.
hop.
Depending on what the extract is,
You
you
can
could,
also
steal.
take extracts off of people.
sure, but I mean, like, does he scale with power very well? I don't know if he does.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, he's not.
I feel like the 3s, the 4s, kind of like it's kind of the sweet spot. For,
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
maybe a 5. I don't think you want to go too tall, or I don't know. Going wide, maybe, I don't know. You could get really experimental with it and go super wide and just try to like
Try to
get
be
a
like Webs.
ton of power and see what you can do with it. I don't know.
I mean, that's
feel like
the big
there's dimension.
Helios.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is there a benefit to taking characters with healing factors since you can kind of double up on the healing?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Logan. Is
Logan's
Logan.
a pretty. I mean, he's a fairly big staple in it.
Yeah.
Not everybody takes him, but I mean, he's really good.
He's really good.
He's pretty busted.
Exceptional is like, it's really good.
He's good on certain maps where you can just take a flank.
I noticed
by
this
himself.
list doesn't have exceptional.
It doesn't?
No, and it's got lizard.
Oh,
Oh, I
Yeah.
think you.
I don't know if. I think exceptional is more important for Logan. I don't know if
Agreed.
it's, I don't know if it's
Agreed,
like
but-
super important for Lizard. It's fine, but he's got DR, he's got healing factor, and he's a 3. Like, you lose Lizard, you're losing 3 threat instead of 4.
Mhm.
I don't know.
so exceptional is probably more valuable if you're bringing a more offensive healing character.
Well, the thing is, like, if you take exceptional, you have you're taking the spot of another card, right?
Right.
Which could be like recalibration matrix or something,
Yeah.
which you could use on any character.
And you've only got 4 because you got to use
Right.
the leadership tactics card.
So you're taking like one of your 4 to like maybe prevent Lizard from getting one shot. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely better on Logan.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Agreed.
Logan is like a pretty pivotal piece. Like, you're taking him for a reason. Like, obviously you're taking Lizard, but he's kind of just a potato.
And
Logan-
sometimes the potato's what you want, right?
Yeah, and he's tougher than Logan.
And he can backsteal somebody's F right? Like he can just double move, take their
Yeah.
because you know, especially it can get kind of ugly if you have prio and you just like center steal, and then if they don't pick up the one in front of lizard, you just double move lizard over there and take it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
that can get,
And you can heal him later in the round for 1.
Yep.
if he
And
takes
give him a
damage.
power too, right?
Yeah.
So then his throw becomes online in the next round.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good.
He would have 2 if he stole the extract.
No, it would not turn
But-
online.
Oh yeah.
But if you leadership at the top of the round,
You could,
he would gain, the 3rd power.
you could turn it on.
So in terms of the characters, and we'll talk about tactics and crisis at that point. Kind of bounced around a couple of things. What would you tell Brandon if he wanted? What's a couple of things that we can do to make that roster better character wise?
So I think you drop Immortal Hulk. I think you drop Ulik. You make Invincible regular Tony, 3-threat Tony.
I like 3-threat Tony. He does work. He's pretty tanky. He's got control. He's got the Helios. I mean, Hellfire is so funny because they can pick anything, and there's a lot of arguments for a lot of different models. If you do like Iron Man, though, I think 3-threat Iron Man is totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying him right now in mine. So.
I like Miles. I like the Miles.
Miles, yeah. I mean, a lot. That's kind of like the new craze, right? Getting Miles in there.
Yeah, Miles is good.
So if we're going that direction, then obviously some of the character-specific tactics cards are going to get dropped. So what tactics cards should we be looking to put in replacement?
I mean, I think Helios replaces Stark Armory.
Agreed.
I don't think you keep Stark Armory.
Given the way that...
Because I don't think you're going to be trying to play spread.
You don't have a gun line there anyway.
Yeah. You're not really trying to interact.
And you're going to be lousy with power, which is Helios is a great way to use it.
Yeah. I mean, you got Emma and Ultron and Tony, right? That's kind of like your gun line. I don't think... Do they have any other rangy people in there? Or did Brandon have anybody in there?
This rangy?
Like your
No,
gun line?
everybody's 3 or less.
Yeah. Except for, obviously, Invincible. And Gwenpool has her pistol.
Oh, yeah, her pistols,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna count that.
But here, pistol's, like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's 4 dice.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some cool conditions on it, though.
Hey,
She can reroll on it.
That Stark Armor, you'll bump it up to 5, baby.
Yeah.
If it was rapid fire.
All right, so if we've tweaked that roster, kind of how we're talking about it, what does that roster want to do? Is it a murder roster? Is it a play the objective roster? What's your plan?
Well, he's got cubes, hammers, paranoia. I mean, I think cubes and paranoia is fine.
I mean, cubes is their best extract by far.
Yeah, it's best extra by far because they can heal the damage and the extra
And, like,
power.
get a shit ton of power.
Yeah.
And everybody loves a hammer.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody
But-
loves a hammer.
do they want hammers?
I don't know.
I don't think they want hammers.
Not necessarily. It's like introducing more damage to the game.
Yeah.
It depends on. I don't know. You could probably make a killy roster, but I mean, conventional wisdom right now is that you just make a scenario focused Hellfire team. I mean, if you want to make a killy one, you probably put in Sabretooth.
Yeah. I don't need Sabretooth.
Or Logan.
Yeah, you put in Logan for sure.
You put in Logan, yeah. You definitely put in Logan.
And if you've got both those, then you got to get exceptional.
Yeah. Then you probably. I mean, Brandon likes Gwenpool, so you probably keep Gwenpool in there.
I mean, you probably start looking at characters like X-23 as well.
Maybe. I don't think she scales well with power, but maybe. I think you'd probably put Zemo in there.
Oh, yeah, I do like Zemo. Zemo's a good choice.
So if you're not going to do hammers, do you do another high scoring?
I think you do another
extra?
high score one. And I think it's
Scrolls or spiders?
I think it's spiders.
Well, spiders, you're probably losing mid to another scenario team.
Yeah, but then you're just
So it gets weird.
You're gonna steal with lizard, right? Like, is that?
Yeah. I mean, you could, if that's the end of the conversation. Maybe they steal one of yours. I don't know.
You
You're
steal one.
You're
of the
giving up
bad ones
parity,
with lizard,
basically.
yeah.
Like turn 0.
I don't hate stealing one with Bill too, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And then how about the secures? What secures do you think a roster like that should be focused on?
I don't like Fisk.
No, I don't think you're Fist.
Yeah, that's definitely sticking out like a sore thumb.
Because you're not basically the damage that Fisk is doing, you don't have a way to defend against.
Well, and it's only 2, right? So like, in order
You gotta huddle.
you gotta huddle around it, which means you're gonna probably be taking damage too and getting stunned.
Oh, that stun. The stun
Yeah.
is the killer.
Yeah, the stun's not good.
So what do you think of Sword and Infinity? Those make sense with this kind of roster?
Sword's okay, but I don't think it's the pick. I think you definitely want Scoundrels. I think you want Scoundrels.
Yeah. I mean, Infinity's fine.
Yeah, Infinity's fine.
I don't know if it's optimal, but I think it's fine.
Yeah, for an all-arounder 17 threat, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you run...
Is this a roster that wants pay to flips?
I mean, you could play
I don't
paid
know.
flips, but I think you want your extracts if you're going to be paying a paid flip.
You would think like the Emma would want pay to flips because she's generating more power than everybody else, and she can like.
That's what I was saying about Sword.
Cramp their power more.
I think Sword could be okay, right?
But there's something that's keeping all the Hellfire vets from running it, and I'm not really sure because I'm a Hellfire noob, so I don't really know what the logic is behind not running pay to flips with her. It seems like it would be okay.
Yeah, but then you're running spider portals.
Spider portals, right?
Spider portals, yeah.
Everybody hates spider portals. If you can get an edge on spider portals, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and like can Bill double move to an objective, gain power, and throw somebody off?
No, it has to be at the end of the activation.
Oh, okay.
So you can't abuse it with anybody in round 1.
Okay. But you could set up. So like
Unless I take that back. If you have a large base on a D, and you set your large base up directly behind your back D.
Oh yeah, because they'll be on it.
You can gain the power before they activate.
Yeah.
That's the only time that works.
I guess it would work on Rhino, right?
I suppose it could work if you were able to like airlift somebody to I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't know if that's far enough to airlift like a back B. If you're able to move somebody onto the point,
You could airlift medium base onto it.
So stuff like that. But I mean, it's pretty rare.
It's pretty rare.
So what do we think? What do we want to suggest for Brandon in terms of his secures?
I think you take Scoundrels, Portals, and
I don't know if you want to load up on the pay to flips. You probably want to run at least 1D. If you like Infinity, keep Infinity. I think Scoundrels is good. Puts the most points on the board, gives you cover.
What about Riots? It's a D.
I mean, that's a D.
Yeah.
and there's
it
more.
heals.
It heals 2 more.
Yeah, so
I like Riots. I like Riots
I don't-
better than Black Order Descends.
Yeah, I do too.
But I mean, most Hellfire's lists right now are running the Black Order Descends, Riots, and Scoundrels. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to mix it up, go for it. I mean, I think Infinity's fine.
And Spider Portals is 18 too. That's the other thing too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for Brandon's list that we wanna give?
Probably cut a 4 for another 3.
Yeah.
I think you won at least 3 threes.
I also like Cat, right? Cat's good.
I mean, there's so many 3s. Like, I don't know.
Well, and you could do so.
There's a lot of
What I did to Landon was I did it with Did I do it with Cat? I did it with Cat. I double moved to one of his characters and just ended my activation there.
Sure.
And then like I basically had R&D'd and then she gained power and then I just stole.
Right.
Which you could do in Hellfire, right? Like
Yeah.
you could.
If you move onto a point with somebody.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I guess just tailor it to your meta.
Yeah.
If you need like Luke Cage, put him in. If you need Lizard, put him in. I mean, I guess that's what's great about Hellfire. You just have flexibility.
So take that last spot and kind of season to taste.
Yeah, last couple spots, whatever. I mean,
Sam's also a solid pick too. I don't hate Sam.
he's got control.
Yeah. And his charge pretty good.
Yeah. It's a little squishy though.
Yeah, he's a little squishy.
Anything else for Brandon? Okay, Sophie, Brandon, thank you so much for sending in your questions and your rosters. Everybody else, see how easy that was? See how helpful that was? Get in touch with us. Witty Banter Cast on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Even for all you olds, we've got an email account, wittybantercast@gmail.com. So now let's get into our headline. Let's get into kind of the big thing we want to talk about. And it's pretty hard to avoid talking about Cosmic Ghost Rider finally having the Nerfhammer dropped on him. So real briefly, let's run through what happened. How exactly did he get nerfed? What happened to him?
It was a big ass hammer.
Yeah, it was a big ass hammer. I mean, his pull obviously went down to once a turn.
So the first thing everybody bitched about was, oh my god, Cosmic Ghost Rider gained 5 power. He teleported to the middle of the board and one shot 2 of my guys and dazed 2 people in my deployment zone.
Yeah.
Which I've never been able to do, but evidently that's happened.
Yeah.
Well, don't you know that everybody lives on 1 for you?
Mm.
Yeah.
That is true.
But I'd have to roll 5 power to even consider it.
Yeah,
I
I
roll 0 and 1 power. So
on 2 games, round 1.
yeah,
You rolled 0. There was 1 game you rolled 0, and 1 game you rolled 1 at LVO.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm rolling 1 and 2 a lot. Like there was 1 game against you. I was playing your webs. I rolled like 1s and 2s all game. Remember that? It was like round 5 or 6.
I think you ended up dropping Psychosis.
Yeah, because I couldn't keep power.
Yeah, you can keep power.
Anyway, that was a bitch of people. So they switched the power.
So how does it work now?
It used to do the extra 5 dice worth of power in the power phase. Now it's during the cleanup. So you start with 1 power. You don't gain it at the start of the turn. Therefore, you're not able to teleport to the middle of the board if you get.
Yeah, he's just
really
he's just on 1. And him not gaining it in the power phase also means that he's got to roll well on it the next round.
Because it checks for Psychosis a round earlier.
Yeah.
So he doesn't get that power that started round 2 to help him to reach that threshold.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Which changes the math a lot.
Changes the math a lot.
And him only having 1 power to start with makes it so that he probably doesn't get to even attack if your opponent plays cagey.
Yeah. I mean, maybe your opponent just gets like a wild hair and you can place 1 and double tap, but it's
and then
probably
you got 2 power.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen though.
No,
There's no way you place 1 and double tap.
Yeah,
there's no way that happens.
Yeah, nobody's gonna set them. I mean, I guess if they backdive you, but nobody's gonna backdive you in front of CGR.
Best case scenario, I think, without extra help, is you medium move and you take a shot.
Yeah,
and then you're
at 2.
You're banking on rolling 3 dice or 3 successes on 5 dice to maintain Psychosis. So chances are probably you're gonna not be in Psychosis round 2.
Yeah, which is
another issue.
Yeah. Especially if you're running CGR and with Prio, right? Because now you're gonna have him with Prio, and he may not Psychosis. He may not have enough power to do anything.
Yeah. So his round 1's neutered. His round's 2 neutered, and I don't know how many rounds are in the game. If it's going to like round 5 or 6, probably not good for you.
Yeah. Well, that and his spender too, right? So spender going up to 8.
Well, that was the next thing.
Yep. Yeah. So the next change is that the cost of his power cosmic penance stare goes to 8.
So that's huge, right? Because we've already established that his power income is going to be less, right?
Well, let's back up one more time. When he gets dazed, first time, he loses the power.
Yes.
Because it happens in the cleanup phase.
Yeah, so he doesn't gain the most power there.
So
He still gets the psychosis.
He still, it gives him a psychosis token.
the round he gets dazed, he's losing power.
Yeah.
So
Losing, in other words, losing the dice generating
he's losing
power.
a 5 dice generator.
Yeah.
For the round he gets dazed.
Yes.
So that's already setting him back from pre-nerf Ghost Rider. And now you're adding 2 costs to each of his spenders. So you got to figure, let's just say average of 3. So he's losing like 2 to 3 power on his day's turn, and then 2 power each time he spenders.
Yeah. Well, and the other problem too is like if he spenders now, he's probably going to lose psychosis.
Yes, that's the other thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Without
because he's
doubt.
probably going to spend down to 1.
Yeah, because you used to be able to, no matter the cost, sack 3 health and pay 3 for your spender, and like do a builder, and then
Well,
usually get back up.
That's also dangerous too now, because since he doesn't gain power from the psychosis roll, right? So like if he dazes, he's gonna have less power on it because he's taking more damage. He's taking damage without
no
gaining,
matter the cost.
without gaining power from it too.
Yeah.
So like, it's not good.
Yeah, after CGR had been out a while, people kind of realized. Well, a lot of people realized that the spender was like the dumb thing on him.
Yeah, it's super dumb.
Just this most powerful spender in the game.
Yeah,
by a large margin.
It pretty much just kills whatever.
I mean,
there's
depends on who's throwing dice.
Yeah, but there's very things that it doesn't, like, especially anything from like the 4 threat. Like it usually gives 4 threats.
I don't know. M'Baku tonight kicked Cosmic Ghost Rider's ass when he can only roll 2 hits with a spender. So
yeah,
2 hits.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's awful.
Ouch.
Counting skulls?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ouch.
that's terrible.
8 power for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
Feels bad.
All right, so if that was all we were talking about in terms of the CGR nerf, that'd be pretty significant. But it ain't all we're talking about. What else did they do?
You can only pull once around.
Yeah, you go holes around, which
Which-
mean,
I'm gonna be honest. I mean,
it's very rare you pull more than once.
there's a lot of different ways to play Cosmic Ghost Rider. He was a pretty dynamic character. I didn't play him with a lot of pulls, but it was an option that you could have in your pocket, which you don't have anymore. You could use it to just steal a bunch of secure points, basically, or you could use it to kind of manipulate him being able to not be psychosis in the following turn.
Yeah,
That's
so
all out the window now.
Yeah. He can't. Well, and it makes his like got your back too a little worse because it's 3 power, right? So
Yeah.
and it's like, now do you want to like spend down and only gain 1 power and then lose psychosis, right?
Yeah, it's got your back was hard to fit in anyway. Like, he has a really crazy kit.
Yeah, this kid's really good.
I mean, you can play him so many different ways. You could before. I don't know. We'll have to see how he plays now. Maybe he uses got your back more. He's going to be spendering less.
Yeah.
He's probably going to be playing objectives a little more, just by virtue of him not gaining the power that he needs to be psychotic round 2.
Yeah, which just really sucks because he gains the psychosis on round 1.
Yeah, so you can't play objectives.
You can't play objectives with him.
Yeah.
And he has a thing that removes psychosis, so doesn't it? He's a tactics card, right?
That tactics card's
How much power does it cost?
dog crap.
How much power does it cost?
5, I think.
Oh, forget that then, yeah.
Well, and they did change that too. If Cosmic Ghost Rider has a psychosis token, he may remove it. Then Cosmic Ghost Rider may advance medium towards an objective you are not securing. If you are now securing that objective token, you immediately gain 1 victory point.
Whoop-de freaking do.
Yeah, it's not great. For
How
5
much was
power?
it? 5 power?
Yeah.
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 Well, the last paragraph on the card changed.
Yeah, because I think before it was like, it didn't. I thought it was.
Before it didn't work.
Yeah, I thought it
It
didn't
was
work.
just mechanically busted.
Yeah, because you couldn't remove the psychosis.
I can't remember what it was. It was just like the language, the card was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. I think you couldn't move to a thing and secure it because you had the psychosis token on because it didn't remove it. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I don't remember.
It doesn't apply now, so whatever.
So how big of a nerf did CGR get compared to Malekith or any of the other characters that have been taken down a peg or two?
I think it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Yeah, it was a huge deal. Playing against him though in a humans roster, I didn't feel overwhelmed. He felt about right for a 6th threat that just kills.
Yeah. Well, and like you take away their ability to do the like spender jank, right? Where you could pass the power and then like no matter the cost and
In humans?
Yeah, like before you
specifically with CGR
with
though.
the old CGR.
Yeah.
You could pass power and spend it early.
Yeah, I mean, you could put it in hyperdrive for sure with Inhumans. I mean, I think they still make him function a lot like he used to.
Yeah, I don't think
now.
Yeah,
like whereas in Guardians, I think he's just very stymied to the point where I mean, he still probably has a place in some Guardian rosters, but he's definitely not just a piece you can jam into a game. You have to have a real reason to take him, I think, now.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to ask because he was kind of stapled to Guardians rosters recently. So how does he play different with Guardians now, do we think?
Well, he has all the... Well, before he was really good because he had a winging it, so he changed the math on one-shots a lot, but...
Now that he doesn't have the power to, like, place, he can't double tap.
He can't affect the board round 1 like he used to.
Yeah.
In round 2, he can probably... I mean, there's a good chance he's not psychotic, so he's not really coming online as a threat until round 3.
Which is bad for a 6th threat, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Because you want your 6th threat suit. I mean... He functionally he can't affect the crisis on round 1 now. Like functionally. It's very difficult for him to do anything. Like unless he just like moves up and one shot something randomly.
I mean he could move up, shoot, and then pull. And then
definitely
gen power, lose the psychosis, play a scenario after that. I just don't know how good, especially now that he's limited to 1 pull a turn, I don't know how good he is at a scenario piece. Before, you could like play him kind of as a scenario piece by manipulating his power with pulls, and you were able to multi-pull. Now, I don't know. We have to get him on the table and see how he works. But on paper, I feel like he got kicked in the teeth pretty hard.
Yeah, especially with Guardians. I mean, I think something random like A-Force could maybe do something cool, but I don't know how good that is.
Yeah, but at that point, you're spending 12 threat.
It's kind of inhuman-y, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, I don't.
You have more.
I don't hate playing A-Force tall like that.
Yeah,
that's pretty tall.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna play like you're gonna play She-Hulk, and you're gonna play Cosmic, and then you're gonna have like you take a 4. Maybe it's Gwenpool. Maybe it's Widow.
But
maybe it's Spider-Woman.
You're counting on your opponent to give you power, right?
Yeah.
With Inhumans, you kind of just
you
have control.
You have control of it. I mean, she might be okay with Xavier's leadership, or you might not. I mean, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean,
so how would that work?
Well, because he could. I mean, he could get power. Like you could like do some like Wong, for instance. Wong could like do the thing where he moves, passes a power to Cosmic. Cosmic gains 2 power. Now he can place.
Yeah.
Xavier's leadership. Let's just go over that again to make sure that everybody remembers. How Xavier's leadership work?
When you spend a power on a superpower, you can pass a power to any character.
Specifically, active and reactive superpowers.
Yeah, active and reactive superpowers.
And you have to
spend a power.
So that might help CGR. A lot of the nerf came from his power generation,
Yeah.
so that might help at least mitigate that somewhat.
I don't think it helps in round 1.
You don't think Wong passing him? Well, the other thing too is with Xavier, right? In order to play CGR and Wong, you're gonna get.
If you're looking at 12 plus, I mean, you need 2. You don't want to play Honey Badger in that. So
I was about to say
you need 2 3 threats, so you're at 18 points.
Yeah.
But so if Wong passes a power to somebody and they do some jank with the two cost superpower, like it's basically like you're rolling a power from one person to the next. Like you can't stack a bunch of power on CGR round one with it.
You can
It
stack
doesn't-
2. You can stack 2. Two's the.
Well, you can pass him one power essentially.
Well, you could use Wong, right? So Wong passes him a power, and then that action gives him another power, so he can gain 2 power. So he'd have 3. So he could place 2, double tap.
Yeah. I suppose you could do that. Later in the game, when everyone actually has power to use on superpowers, they could just like funnel power to CGR. They don't need to get a power in order to use a superpower like they would on round 1.
Yeah.
So it can start working like an Inhuman superpower later. But it doesn't really help him round 1, I guess, unless you're running.
Well, and the other thing too, right,
But
is they just pick on Xavier, right?
But even old Ghost Rider, genning 2 power off his 5, that was still kind of you had to be cautious with it. So
Yeah.
I don't think it really turns him on. It might help him get Psychosis round 2, but he's still not like affecting the board like he had the potential to before the nerf.
Yeah, definitely.
So with the nerf now, how does it change how you play into him? So if someone's got nerf CGR across from you, how does your strategy change to deal with it?
I think if you can stun him, man, stun's just like stunners or something. Like if you stun him and then daze him, like he comes back with like whatever power it took to get the stun, basically.
You just put Nightcrawler on the board.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And you stun
always
him.
a good plan.
Yeah, and you stun him and then you just beat him up.
Just auto stun.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to worry about the spender as early. And I mean, yeah, 6 dice counting skulls is good, but it's not amazing.
No.
I mean,
Well, and I think now there's even more reason to like throw him and stuff, like throw him away, just
Yeah,
just
choke his
because
power more.
Yeah, force him to spend power to place back.
I mean, the spender nerf is just
Yeah,
that was kind of where his true power, in my eyes, where his true power lied. But it's not going to be happening as much anymore.
yeah, you might do it. What, twice a game, if that?
Maybe.
It was exactly twice today, so.
Yeah, I was like, I think you do it maybe twice.
So you have to. I mean, you're spending like the whole kit on that.
Yes, you are.
That's not. There's
And he's
there's no
gonna.
got your back
So like,
there.
well, and that's the other thing too, right? You're gonna spend all that power. You're probably gonna lose Psychosis,
Yeah.
which is gonna make it even more difficult, or not even worse. Like if you don't have Psychosis, maybe you don't even spend it, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I think people, if they're gonna play him, they're gonna have to really think about
Use power management.
how they're going to play him as a scenario piece during the game.
Mm-hmm.
But playing into him, I don't know. Like he's just not as deadly. You don't have to be as cagey round 1.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
You don't have to worry about that spender till way later in the game.
if you don't want to give him power, do you kind of ignore him?
I mean, you can. It's like 6 dice counting skulls. It's not. It can be spiky, but anybody can be spiky with 6 dice.
Yeah.
Like the skull thing is fine. It 5 out of 8 successful size instead of 4.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's good, but it's. I mean, he's a 6 threat. Like I don't know. I don't think that attack's crazy good.
No.
I mean, it's fine. It's good, but I don't know. You could ignore him.
You probably could. Yeah, I think you could.
He's not popping people with the spender. The spender was a thing that was taking people off the boards.
Yeah.
So pre-nerf, where did Cosmic Ghost Rider stand, like with the other top tier models, like
I mean, he
Hulk?
was.
Was he just the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was probably the best model in the game.
I mean, you have to consider that he's a 6th threat.
Yeah, that doesn't score.
Malekith was nerfed into the ground.
Yeah.
Dormammu is
Just Dormammu.
like Dormammu's Ghost Rider. Like he shoots at range 4 with 6 dice energy counting
controls-
skulls, and he counts
controls-
skulls in the opponents, but he costs 8. Like,
Yeah, he's 3 more threat.
But his
That's
model's way cooler.
Oh, you said Ghost Rider, so I
Oh,
assume
sorry.
OG.
Well, and
What's CGI here, man?
his leadership. I mean, his leadership is still real good. Doran's leadership is real good.
Yeah.
So now with the nerf, where does he stand kind of in the roster of characters? How far down did he
On
fall?
6 threats? Or just, like,
Just in
6
general.
plus threats? I mean,
Is he
so obviously someone at a higher threat is going to be a more powerful model, just because, you're paying more threat for him.
so like is he
You're talking about compared to the other 6
yeah,
threats?
well,
like,
the other kaiju. So like where does he stand compared to Hulk, Hulk,
well, he's,
Malekith?
I mean, like, Hulk is Hulk now. I mean, like,
Hulk's back to being number 1.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
Hulk becomes the best model again, right?
Hulk's probably going to come out of the closet a little bit.
yeah.
Because, I mean, the cosmic penance stare was a death sentence for Immortal Hulk, since he doesn't gain power from it. He just comes up, pops him, and then he has like no health the next round, and you just take him off the board.
And now that's going to be harder because you're going to spend her, and then you're probably not going to psychosis. So maybe you aren't able to, like, pop him the rest of the health.
Yeah,
5?
I mean it's very hard. Yeah, it's going to be a lot harder. And I just don't see Cosmic Ghost Rider hitting the tables as much.
Yeah, I don't see.
I mean that's happened with everything that got nerfed. Like when Mal got nerfed, people stopped playing him.
Yeah, Enchantress.
Yeah, Enchantress, Medusa, like everything that got like a nerf.
Even
Yeah.
Thanos.
Well, even look at Bucky at LVO. I don't think Bucky was taking very much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
Vince
even
ran his shield,
I
but
don't even know how good he is anymore though.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
people start playing him.
Well, the people stop playing characters that are nerfed just because they're not as fun as they used to be.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
You know, some of the characters that got nerfed probably deserve more play than they actually get.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably where Ghost Rider is going to be right now, just kind of on the shelf. So people, I mean, I'm sure people are going to be trying them out. A lot of people are just sick of them though, so they'll probably just get shelved for a while.
So is this gonna? Do you think this will change the way the game's played overall? I mean, with CGR, it just seemed like murder was the thing to do.
Well, I think a lot of other rosters suddenly get better, right?
like what?
Like, I think webs get better. I think you could argue Hellfire gets better. The Scory.
I mean, everything gets better, right?
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
like the other attrition affiliations kind of get bumped up a little bit.
Yep. Because they don't have to, like, try to outduel the Guardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the next question. How big a hit is that to Guardians?
I mean, he's a centerpiece model. It definitely changes the way that they can build a team, being that he was affiliated. So
I feel as though it just brings them back down to where they were when Bill came out.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. So like, you can't stack like CGR into Hulk or whatever. You can't do the Thanos CGR into whatever. Like, you can't go super tall. If you're, I mean, you still can if you take CGR, but if you're not taking him, I mean, maybe take Hulk, maybe do the space moth thing. I mean, they're still really good. They still have Bill. They still, I mean,
I think they could
Agent
also
Venom's good.
I think they could also do the, like, Thanos.
Yeah, they can do the Thanos team for sure.
With the Mystique kidnap. I mean, they could bring that back.
Maybe. I think you just go for like the Death Decree kill team.
Yeah, you could do that too. I mean, that's super easy, right?
Put Nebula back in.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people were running Nebula with CGR in the same list, but I'd cut her. But I mean, she's real good.
She's real good.
2-threat. Ugh. She's gross.
Okay, so what's our verdict? Was the nerf too hard, not hard enough, clearly not, or just right?
I mean, it's gonna take table time to figure it out, but
What's your gut?
My
say?
my opinion is I think they went too far with his. I don't like him not being able to affect the table on round 1. Like, I think that, like, for a 6-threat, that just feels real bad.
yeah, I don't think they made him trash, but he was defanged for sure.
So what's new CGR's home? What are you putting him on the table for?
I mean, he's still attrition piece, right? Like he still hits.
You put him out for like a low scoring game.
Yeah.
If there's like 6 points on the board or something, you can throw CGR out. Or if you're playing Inhumans, you just load him up with power and kind of play him like he used to.
I also think you could, there's like Crisis, like Demons. I think is still
Demons is good. Like if you can use him to contest a demon round 2, pretty good.
Yeah.
Get up on a point and then like use that to leverage.
Yeah, it's like what do they do? Do they go into him?
Yeah,
He's scoring.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
That feeds in power.
Yeah, I mean you got Bill and CGR who can contest points on demons. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, he still has places, but he's not. I don't think he can't just jam him on a table anymore.
Yeah, definitely not.
Okay. Any other thoughts on post nerf CGR? Or are we ready to wrap this thing up?
I would say I agree with JP. Don't immediately think it's shelf time for CGR. Give a couple of games beforehand. The one game I played against him tonight, I thought he was better. Not better as in like overpowered, but like he felt right.
Better than you thought he was going to be looking at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because excluding bad dice rolls, I still feared him a little bit just because he was.
I mean, the pull. Like if he pulls something, like if he gets to the point where he can pull something and like just double tap them, that's still
It hurt. It did hurt.
They didn't touch his built or his gainer. Right?
Yeah, it's still range 4.
It's still range 4. It still throws 6 dice. It still counts skulls. Like it's still good.
Yeah.
It's just he's not gonna have those big power spikes, those big swing turns where he's just giving somebody with a spender almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
So,
well, now you can't.
And those first couple turns are just way less impactful.
Previously, you could, in theory, no matter the cost and spender twice.
Yes.
And you cannot do that now.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
Not even in Inhumans.
Yep, you can't.
All right. Any other final thoughts on post nerf CGR?
I hope people are satisfied.
Yeah. I mean,
So the big question now is, what's the next model people are going to complain about? Is it Hulk?
God.
I mean, everybody's been complaining about Hulk for quite some time, right? Like Hulk's bared the brunt of most of that.
Hulk's my favorite model.
So it's
well, yeah, but
so
JP's like
a
fucking savant with his Hulk.
So it's definitely going to be Hulk people are complaining about.
Yeah, it's probably going to be
just depends
Hulk.
on what flavor Hulk.
I think people will start complaining about webs in general. I think they'll start complaining about Hellfire.
JP's already started with both.
Yeah, I also think that, I mean, the Spirit of Wakanda jank is going to be...
That's what I think is going to get silly.
Yeah, the Spirit of Wakanda jank is
It is real jank.
It's gonna be...
That was unintended.
Yeah, it's going to be...
We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of like pretty busted stuff still.
I think a lot of other affiliations get a little better too, right? Like I think Shield gets a little better. Because, I mean, before, Cosmic was just, like, Cosmic makes a mockery of, like, Iron Sky, right? Like, gives no shits.
Yeah, I mean...
And you just obliterate Fury, right?
Yeah, so if S.H.I.E.L.D., like, starts becoming in vogue, like, people just take CGR.
Yeah,
right?
That's true, yeah.
Like, immune to Incinerate, got your back, yada. He still does stuff against S.H.I.E.L.D. that S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't want him to do, so... I don't know. I don't see S.H.I.E.L.D. Maybe. I think they need a little boost still.
Maybe if, I thought Vince was working with, like, trying to do a scoring focus S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, new Widow is, like, super annoying if she, like, backdives your F.
Yeah.
And then you, like, just use, like, as soon as she takes damage, you just shield mobile her back out.
I mean, S.H.I.E.L.D. does have some good characters, and they have the best tactics cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not counting them out, but I feel like maybe need a couple more pieces.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe Vince will just reinvent the wheel and blow us all away.
Pull something out. Yeah. I know he was experimenting with like Hella and stuff before, but but I don't know if he. I mean, I don't know if that's.
There's some synergies there, but
yeah,
I don't really see. I don't know. I don't know how much Hella really puts Shield in the driver's seat.
I don't think it does.
She's good. There's synergies there, but I don't know. I think Shield just has some issues with some of the meta choices.
I think Webb's still pretty good in them. Just because, like, how can they kill Webbs fast enough before they outscore him?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they can.
All right, final thoughts on CGR.
I mean,
it needs testing. It looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that at least it'll make. I mean, there's a lot of people to make happy, right? Like a lot of people were complaining about him. So
definitely more niche.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe that's where you should be.
Yeah.
Well, webheads, why don't you let us know? Did they nerf CGR too hard? Is he just right? Who are you going to complain about next? Because we all know you're going to complain. Get in touch with us.
Yeah, people will complain.
Witty Bantercast, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wittybantercast@gmail.com. And don't forget our Patreon. We would love to get some support from you guys so we can bring you more content like this delicious, delicious stuff that we've had here.
Oh, let's not forget the event.
Tell us
Big Beef Beatdown. March 2nd, we were lucky enough to get included with this GT. It's brand new this year. It is an LVO qualifier. So whoever wins this one, you get a free ticket or a free entry into the LVO 2025. It is a standard event, and everything up to March 2nd, day of the tournament, is legal. So new X-Men will be legal.
Everyone come beat your big beef.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And when is it?
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
I think Aaron
Franklin has signed up,
yeah, so he'll be there.
You will find the Big Beef Beatdown signups on all our sites. So you just go to Witty Bantercast and you'll be able to get signed up.
No, not this year. It's not a championship belt this year.
That is disappointing.
That is super disappointing.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it for today. Thank you all for listening. We are looking forward to hearing from you. And until next time, be good, webheads.